Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week I Review. You can call me a non-vegan guy with a vegan girlfriend. And today I'm going to be head-to-heading the two biggest meat-adjacent products on the market, the Impossible Burger and the Beyond Burger. Though these have actually been around for a little while, they've blown up in the news recently because the former is now going to be on the menu at every single Burger King in the country, and the latter just had its IPO and came out way above expectations. Last week, a report indicated that short sellers have collectively lost $150 million betting against it, and good. I hope they lose everything. The two have radically different market plans. Beyond Meat began in groceries with other products like Beyond Chicken. The first time I ever saw a Beyond Burger was in a Whole Foods, and the first, second, and third times I ever had them were in my own apartment. To be honest, I never liked them that much, but I kept trying because I appreciate the intent and want to support the effort. Since then, it has shown up in restaurants and fast food chains. Carl's Jr./Hardee's uses them, and so now does the bougier chain 5 Napkin Burger, which I found out last weekend when I attempted to get an Impossible Burger, but was told they no longer serve them. Impossible Foods has always been restaurant only and is likely to remain so for some time, particularly since their production needs to account for new placements at Red Robin and the aforementioned Burger King, alongside continued at White Castle, where they've been available since last year. This whole supply thing was the reason that 5 Napkin Burger had to switch, or so I was told. I first had the Impossible Burger in 2016 at David Chang's Momofuku Nishi in New York, then one of only a couple spots in the entire country to have it, and only during lunchtime. I went on a few Tinder dates there and was impressed every time. It didn't taste like beef per se, but it definitely seemed like generic meat product. The Nishi style was a thin, smashed patty that seemed perfect for what the product was, something confirmed by the first time I ever got an Impossible Burger of a larger size in late 2017. It was a lot. Too much. I actually wasn't able to finish it. But things have changed since then. First, I stopped eating red meat at the start of 2018. So I think it's worth sidebarring for a moment to discuss why these products exist and who they're for, because they're not really targeted at vegans and vegetarians, although, vegetarians who miss meat definitely can get a lot out of them. Really what they're for is to replace meat for people who still like meat. I stopped eating red meat not because I didn't like it, but because of the environmental impact that cows have. And I know that one person's choices don't make a huge difference in the big picture, but regardless, that was the choice I made. So having a product that is very close to meat is something that I'm cool with having. I liked the taste of hamburgers, and so having something that is a more or less perfect facsimile is something I would be looking for. That's why they're aiming for fast food restaurants. They're not trying to bring vegans into fast food restaurants. They're trying to get people who are already buying beef to not buy beef. These products aren't particularly healthy. It's definitely not for the health conscious. This is really about reducing environmental and animal impact of meat. So there's a lot to be said for that. And also, Impossible Foods released version 2.0 earlier this year, which I guess I've had a couple of times and has been generally quite well received. But now that they're both getting so big, I thought it would be interesting to put them head to head here on camera. It's something that I haven't done with food on this channel since all the way back in episode 4. I had actually planned on doing this particular comparison a little while back, but some supply issues and local chain closings got in the way. Also, the weather in New York hasn't been super conducive to doing an outdoor shoot, but now it is. Also, I bought a lapel mic. I go into this matchup with some biases, but I am open-minded. I've never had a Beyond Burger prepared by anyone other than myself, and maybe I'm the problem. I'm not a great cook. Since Bareburger is very good and also the only chain I know that serves both, I thought it was a good place to do this, to put them on equal footing. I will be getting 2 identically ingrediented burgers with only the type of patty separating them. I'm gonna place that order now. Let's see how they do. Fun fact about this Bareburger behind me, this is actually the first Bareburger I ever had an Impossible Burger from. It's the one that was too much and I couldn't finish it, so we'll see how they do this time. So, here we have the Beyond Burger and the Impossible Burger. You can tell because one of them looks a whole lot more like meat than the other. The Beyond Burger, I mean, it's not made of anything meat-like. It's actually made largely of pea protein. It actually kind of looks like what I vaguely remember bologna looking like. See how it tastes. It's definitely better than when I have made it. It honestly doesn't have a ton of taste. It's chewier than when I've made it for sure. Like, it's got a kind of sponginess to it. The taste, let's just pull off a piece. It's got this little metallic aftertaste for me that's the thing that's always bothered me when I've eaten it is tasting that little bit. It's still here, but it's only really present when I'm biting into it by itself. It tastes fine. Actually, it kind of tastes like a tougher hot dog a little bit. You know, I don't dislike it, which is actually a pretty big step up from when I've had it at home. I don't love it. I definitely don't love it. You know, I think it's fine. You know, I appreciate what they're doing, and I also appreciate the fact that you can buy these in a store. The decision not to use a very complex ingredient like this one uses means it can be mass-produced at scale, and so I appreciate that, and I appreciate how much people in general seem to like them, because the important thing, honestly, is that more of this stuff gets out there and more people have them, and having a mass market sort of thing is a good idea. So, you know, good on them. Let's do a 7.0 out of 10. As for the Impossible Burger, you know, you can see right in the center there, it looks like meat. So what they do is they take this thing called heme from the soy plant, although now it's genetically engineered from yeast that takes like soy hemoglobin. And heme, it's full of iron, and it's kind of what makes actual things meaty, but it exists in plants just in extremely trace amounts. So this company has figured out how to make something out of it, and so it's that as well as coconut oil and a few other ingredients. But heme is the thing that genuinely makes it look kind of like meat. That's a completely different experience. Like, it doesn't have that chewiness that the Beyond Burger had. It bites much more naturally, and I know that there is a little bit of pushback when you know, bite into a beef burger, but it also depends on how it's cooked. This is much closer to the experience of eating real meat. Like, again, it feels to me like it's meat, even if it doesn't necessarily feel like beef per se. There's something to the taste that's a little odd. I don't know what it is because I'm not a food critic, and so I probably shouldn't be doing these kinds of things on this channel, but I am. But there is something odd to the taste but it doesn't really hurt it. It's just something you notice, and then as you continue to eat it, you sort of get over, or you never do. But I get over it. I think it tastes fine, if not good, if not very good. It kind of depends on the time. I'm really hoping that police siren doesn't get picked up. Honestly, I'm just really enjoying eating this one in a way that, like, this was fine, but altogether, you know, this by itself is fine. You know, it's a decent enough meat analog. But put together in an entire burger, I think it really works, and I think it's a very impressive product. You know, I mean, they put many, many millions of dollars into making sure it was impressive, so you kind of hope so, but they pulled it off. We'll see if we can hear any of this. 8.5 out of 10. But bigger picture, if we're thinking about what this is all for. My girlfriend, who again is vegan, she disagrees with me here. She does not like the Impossible Burger at all because it tastes too much like meat. She likes the Beyond Burger, which doesn't so much, and she also doesn't get that metallic taste that I do, so I don't know what it says about me that I have that, and your mileage will vary. But it does get at the heart of how these products really are not necessarily for vegans and vegetarians, but for people who are open to eating meat but want to cut back. And I think that that is a really important thing. And so both of them become more than the sum of their parts because of the potential impact that they can have. And I hope that they do have. So 8.6 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video didn't suck. If it did, I'm sorry. I hope to see you next week.